The narrative of Jesus Christ's virgin birth stands as a cornerstone of Christian theology, yet its origins, articulation, and implications remain subjects of scholarly inquiry and debate. This discussion explores the historical emergence of the virgin birth story, its textual basis in the New Testament, Jesus' own claims regarding his divine sonship, and the broader cultural and theological contexts that shaped its development. Central to this exploration is the question of how the virgin birth evolved from a limited textual reference into a defining doctrine, and whether Jesus himself leveraged this narrative to assert his identity as the Son of God. Through an analysis of biblical sources and historical trajectories, this examination reveals a complex interplay between Jesus' self-understanding and the interpretive frameworks imposed by his followers. The textual foundation of the virgin birth. The virgin birth narrative appears exclusively in two New Testament texts, Matthew 1 verses 18 to 25 and Luke 1 verses 26 to 38. These accounts, written between 70 and 100 CE by anonymous authors, describe Mary conceiving Jesus through the Holy Spirit while still a virgin, fulfilling, in Matthew's view, the prophecy of Isaiah 7 verse 14. Notably, these are the only canonical references to this event, with earlier writings like Mark's Gospel and Paul's letters omitting any mention of a miraculous birth. This scarcity suggests that the virgin birth was not a foundational element of the earliest Christian message, which centered instead on Jesus' ministry, death, and resurrection. The accounts in Matthew and Luke likely emerged later, possibly drawing on oral traditions or theological motifs to emphasize Jesus' divine origin. Jesus' self-identification as the Son of God. Jesus' own articulation of his identity as the Son of God, as recorded in the Gospels, does not rely on the virgin birth. In Mark 14 verses 61 to 62, when asked if he is the Son of the Blessed, Jesus affirms, "I am," linking his sonship to future authority rather than his birth. Similarly, in John 10 verse 36, he defends his claim to be the Son of God by pointing to his works, not his conception. Across the Synoptic Gospels and John, Jesus frequently calls God my Father, implying a unique relationship, yet he never cites a virgin birth as evidence. Instead, he offers miracles, such as healing the blind and raising the dead, and his authority to forgive sins as demonstrations of his divine connection. This suggests that during his lifetime, Jesus' sonship was tied to his actions and mission, not a narrative of divine birth later emphasized by his followers. Evidence and distinction from other figures. To substantiate his identity, Jesus consistently pointed to observable acts. In John 10 verses 37 to 38, he urges, "Believe the works, that you may know, the Father is in me," highlighting miracles as proof of his unity with God. His authority to forgive sins, as in Mark 2 verses 5 to 10, further distinguished him from prophets like Elijah or Moses, who mediated divine power rather than exercising it directly. Unlike other Jewish figures labeled sons of God in a metaphorical sense, such as kings or the nation of Israel, Jesus' claims were reinforced by unprecedented deeds, setting him apart without explicit reference to a virgin birth. This reliance on action over origin underscores a practical, evidence-based approach to his divine identity. The evolution of the virgin birth narrative. The virgin birth story expanded significantly after Jesus' death, growing from its modest origins in Matthew and Luke into a richly detailed tradition. The 2nd-century Proto-Evangelium of James introduced Mary's perpetual virginity, her miraculous birth to barren parents, and a cave as the birth setting, details absent from the canonical texts. By the 4th century, church fathers like Augustine and Jerome solidified Mary's role as ever-virgin, while councils like Ephesus in 431 CE declared her Theotokos, or God-bearer, embedding the virgin birth in Christological doctrine. Medieval traditions further embellished the narrative with nativity scenes and legends, culminating in modern celebrations like Christmas. This evolution reflects a shift from a simple miracle to a theological linchpin, likely influenced by both Jewish prophecy and Greco-Roman tales of divine births. cultural, and theological influences. The virgin birth narrative bears striking parallels to earlier stories across cultures. In Greco-Roman mythology, figures like Perseus and Romulus were born to virgins through divine intervention, while in Indian traditions, Karna's virgin birth to Kunti echoes similar themes. Within Judaism, miraculous births to barren women, such as Isaac to Sarah, provided a precedent, though virgin births were absent. These parallels suggest that early Christians may have adapted the virgin birth to align Jesus with messianic prophecies, like Isaiah 7 verse 14, or to distinguish him from other prophets and divine figures in a competitive religious landscape. The absence of this narrative in Jesus' own claims supports the hypothesis that it was a later addition, crafted to enhance his divine status. Jesus' unique yet inclusive relationship with God. While Jesus asserted a profound connection to God, most explicitly in John 10 verse 30, "I and the Father are one," he did not preclude others from a relationship with the divine. In John 17 verses 21 to 22, he prays that his disciples may be one, just as you, Father, are in me, extending a form of unity to believers. Earlier, in Matthew 5 verse 9, he calls peacemakers sons of God, indicating a broader, metaphorical sonship. Unlike later Christian doctrine, which labeled him the only begotten Son in John 3 verse 16, Jesus' own words suggest a special but not exclusive bond, rooted in his role as revealer and mediator rather than a biological claim tied to virginity. The virgin birth narrative, rooted in just two gospel accounts, evolved from a peripheral detail into a central tenet of Christian belief, shaped by theological needs and cultural influences rather than Jesus' own testimony. Jesus himself claimed to be the Son of God through miracles, authority, and an intimate connection with God, never invoking a divine birth as proof. His evidence was action-oriented, distinguishing him from other prophets, yet he left room for others to share in a relationship with God. The elaboration of the virgin birth after his death reflects early Christians' efforts to align him with prophecy and elevate his divine status, drawing on a rich tapestry of pre-existing birth stories. This trajectory reveals a dynamic process. What began as a claim grounded in Jesus' deeds became a doctrine enriched by the interpretations of those who followed him, illustrating the interplay between historical figure and theological symbol in the formation of Christian identity.